Good morning, good afternoon, good day, class. Today we will go over the answers to your diagnostic test. And remember, this test is not meant to affect your grades, and its purpose is to check what you already know about the topics for this quarter, the fourth quarter examination, the fourth quarter lesson, since we are in the physics, since we are done with the biology, chemistry, and the earth and science. Now we are now at the physics. So as we discuss each item that you've answered, listen carefully to the explanations so you can understand the concepts better. So if your answer is different, do not worry. This is part of the learning process. And for this rationalization, let's not go deeper since we will just discuss it throughout this quarter. Okay, let's start for the number one. During a ball throwing activity in PE class, a student notices the ball moves forward while falling downward at the same time. So how can the horizontal and vertical motions of a projectile be described? Now, what are your answers for this? Is it A, they act independently, B, gravity controls both motions in exactly the same way, C, the motion changes depending on the direction of the throw, D, they strongly affect one another throughout the entire motion? So what is your answer? Okay, so the answer for this is letter A. Why? Because in projectile motion, the horizontal and vertical motions occur at the same time, but do not affect each other. Now, for the context, horizontal and vertical motions, for example, you're throwing a stone or a ball. Now, when you throw a ball, the horizontal motion that is from its direction is only east and west. When we talk about vertical motion, so when you throw a stone, it will go down. That is the vertical. When we say vertical, varug, and when we say horizontal, pahigda sila. And the horizontal motion um continues at the constant speed because there is no horizontal force acting on the object. So of course, when we talk about horizontal motion, there is no forces acting on it. But when we talk about vertical motions, if you try to throw a stone, what will you observe? So the stone will go downward because of the gravity. So gravity is part of the forces that acts on an object. So gravity is the main reason why all objects go down. So again, the answer for this is they act independently. So horizontal in motions, a vertical motion um doesn't affect one another, or yes, doesn't affect one another because they are independent. So what happens to horizontal motion doesn't affect vertical motions at all. Number two, a teacher drops a stone straight down and throws another stone horizontally from the same height. Why do both stones hit the ground at the same time? So the answer for this is letter D. Horizontal motion does not affect vertical motion. Why? Because both stones start the same height and are affected by the same gravitational acceleration. So gravity pulls both stones downward at the same rate. So the horizontal motion of one stone does not change how fast it falls. So therefore, both stones hit the ground at the same time. Next, number three. While watching a basketball shot, during sa mga event niyo sa inyong mga liga sa inyong barangay, sa may mga paduwa-duwa nga basketball, or bisag sa inyo halang playground, do you have basketball, yan ay magduwa ito. So, while watching, just imagine that you are watching a basketball shot. Students observe that the ball follows a curved path, no? Curved path, siya, the rainbow nga path. How does gravity affect the vertical motion of the projectile? So, ang ipangutanan ni diri if we translate it to Bisaya, why does the ball make a curved path? Unsa may reason nga nung nahimo siyang curved path? It is because of the answer is letter A. It causes constant downward acceleration. So from the word itself, downward acceleration, that involves gravity. Because gravity acts on the projectile at all times during its motion. It causes a constant downward acceleration of approximately unsa may value sa gravity, that is 9.8 meters per second squared. So this means the projectile slows down while moving upward and stops at its highest point and then speeds up as it falls down. Now when you throw a ball, i-throw nimo sa ball pataas, di ba kabantay mo, if maabot na siya sa pinakataas is mukalit siya hinay because may oppose man siya sa direction sa gravity. Ang direction sa gravity is ka downward. So, mo slow iglabay nimo sa bola because may oppose siya sa direction sa gravity. And then, after niya mo reach niya yung peak, ng pinaka-highest niyang height, the acceleration or the velocity will be zero. And after ana, mobalik siya og pa-down. And then, as you can see, or maka-observe mo, mo-action na siya og paspas padong sa ubos. That's because niuyo na siya sa direction sa gravity. That's why the answer for this is it causes constant downward acceleration. Downward acceleration, that means the gravity. So I know that you are still not familiar, or for everyone na dili familiar about acceleration or sa na constant or sa na the horizontal motions. Actually, before we proceed to our lessons or discussions for the fourth grading for the physics, now we will have to discuss now some basics. Basics terms like vectors, scalars, displacement, distance, motions, accelerations, for you to understand for you to understand the next lessons, no, kay dahil siya concepts nga dapat natong i-learn or dapat natong masabtan, but before jud ta mo start ana, let's first learn the mga term nga need nato siyang understand sad para makasabot ta sa unsa gipasabot sa concept for the next lessons nato nga i-discuss. Okay, let's proceed to number 4. In a simulation, a projectile moves forward at a constant speed, while its height changes. So why does the horizontal velocity of a projectile remain constant, neglecting air resistance? Is it A, no force is acting horizontally? B, motions naturally stays balanced without forces? C, the object has a small mass and smooth surfaces or surface? D, gravity becomes weaker in the horizontal motion. So the answer for this is letter A. So no force is acting horizontally. Now, according to Newton's have actually 4 laws of motions. So, according to Newton's first law of motion, an object in motion will continue moving at a constant velocity unless a force acts on it. Again, ang giminang sa law ni Newton's, when an object is moving, dili na siya mo stop regardless na lang og naay mo force nga mo act ana. So that's why nga mo stop siya. For example, na car. If mabangga ang car, di ba? Unsa may makapahunong sa car, it's either sa brake or mabangga siya. So naa siya gi-apply nga force. So mo na siya ang gimin sa law ni Newton's first law. And projectile motion, no gravity only acts downward. Since no horizontal force is present, ignoring air resistance, when we talk about air resistance, kanang air, nagapalibot na to. So the horizontal velocity remains constant. So the answer for this is no force is acting horizontally. Okay, let's proceed to number 5. Two balls are launched with the same speed but at different angles. Now, how does the angle of release affect the range of a projectile? Okay, now for this one, what will be your answer? Is it A, no effect at all on distance traveled? B, certain angles produce the same range? C, the range always increases as the angle increases? Or D, the range always becomes shorter at higher angles? So the answer for this is letter B. Certain angles produce the same range. Why? Because when projectiles are launched at the same speed but at different angles, some angles produce the same horizontal distance or range. So these are called complementary angles, such as 30-degree and 60-degree. Although their paths are different, their ranges are equal because of how the vertical and horizontal components of velocity balance. Now, if you are not familiar with the projectile motions, I don't know if nakaabot mo sa katong games o ng Angry Birds, no? So it involves angles. So for you to achieve to hit the pigs, no, and the other side is you have to point a perfect angle para imo siyang maigo. So that is the example of the projectile motions. But there are certain angles mong gyud nga even lahi-lahi siya angle, same na yapon siya og range. When we talk about range, ang iyahang distance, iyahang padulngan sa bola. And as we discussed no in our lessons, kay maka-understand na din mo. This is a nice lesson actually, guys. It was a very nice lessons getting physics. So hopefully you will love also physics. Now when we talk about physics, when we say physics, easy ra gyud ang physics. Okay, next one. Number 6. Now, a science video shows that a projectile reaches its maximum height halfway through its flight. Now, why does the projectile stop rising at its highest point? Again, na-mention na nina ko siya and I also explained this one. I don't know if na-get to ninyo, but the point of this, no, why is it daw nga when you throw a ball to the highest peak of its point, why does the projectile nga mo stop man siya? Nadili yung stop nga maaptan og 3 seconds, 5 seconds, no, stop siya just 0.1 seconds siguro. Why is it stops at its highest point? So what will your answer? Is it A, all motion stops briefly? B, its vertical velocity becomes 0. C, gravity suddenly becomes stronger. Or air resistance completely stops the motion. So the answer for this is letter B. If its vertical velocity becomes 0. Why? Because no, at the highest point of the projectile path, na may ay gitawag og projectile path, na mo ni siya ang path nga agiyan sa ball when you throw a ball. So the upward motion stops for a moment. Stops for a moment. Kadali ra siya pero ni stops siya. This happens because gravity has been slowing the object down. No, since of course mohunong siya sa pinakaigba because it is opposing the direction of the gravity. And at the top, no, the vertical velocity becomes 0 before the object begins to fall downward. And after niya mo 0, sa pinaka-highest peak niya, mobalik na po siya increase ang iyang velocity. So the answer again for this one is its vertical velocity becomes 0. Let's proceed to number 7. During an experiment, a ball launched at a high angle and another at a low angle. With the same speed, how does the increasing the launch angle affects the maximum height of a projectile? Now for this one, what will be your answer? Is it A, it increases the height reached, B, slight change depending on mass, C, no change because speed stays constant, or D, decreases because horizontal motion increases? Okay, for the answer for this one is letter A. It increases the height reached. Why? Because when the launch angle increases, more of the projectile's initial velocity is directed upward. Again, when the launch angle increases, more of the projectile initial velocity, when we talk about velocity it involves the speed. It is a speed but na siya direction. That's why velocity siya. So this increases the vertical component of velocity, allowing the projectile to rise higher. Now, therefore, higher angles generally produce greater maximum height. So again, the answer for this is it increases the height reached. Number 8. A student compares 30-degree angle launched at a 60-degree angle launched using the same speed. Why do these two angles result in the same range, no, ignoring air resistance? Again, a student compares a 30-degree angle launched at a 60-degree angle launched using the same speed. Why do these two angles result in the same range, ignoring air resistance? Again, this is mentioned now by the previous item. The answer for this is letter A because they are complementary angles. Diba ako siyang na-mention last pag-explain ako nga there are angles na same with siya og range or same siya og same siya og distance because they are complementary angles. Next one is number 9. In a road safety discussions, the car collide and suddenly stop or bounce off each other. How is impulse related to the change in momentum during a collision? So before I actually explain the answer for this one, so when we talk about momentum, this is the continuous moving or the continuous moving of an object. Now when we talk about impulse, that's the time na naanay force na niaka na or naay nakapahunong atong momentum sa usa ka object. So let's say for example, a car, kanang example dara, a car is moving. So mo na siya yung momentum kanang yung pag-move. But since naman siya kabangga, mo nang nana siya impulse. Okay, sorry. Okay, again. So the answer for this one is letter D. Impulse equals change in momentum. Now for the number 9, the impulse again, impulse is defined as the product of the force and the time during which the force acts. It is also equal to the change in momentum of an object. Change in momentum because pagbangga nila, kaya na-change man ang momentum sa usang object, kaya nikalit man siya og kahunong. So, muna to siya ang momentum sa object. So, there is a change in momentum. So, during a collision, when we talk about collision, nagbangga, the force acting over time changes the object's momentum. That is why impulse and change in momentum are equal. Diba? Kabatay mo, if may magbangga ng mga cars, dili man darigong nga muhunong dayon. So, napa may chances na murag mudagan pa siya pero hinay na kayo tungod sa bangga. Kaya gi-oppose man ni ang direction or ang momentum atong sa object. That is why no impulse and change in momentum are equal. So, impulse equals change in momentum. That is the answer. Number 10. A vehicle with a long crumpled zone experiences a less damage during a crash. Why does increasing collision time reduce the force during impact? Now, for this one, we were talking about how does the time or how does the increasing collision time reduces the force during impact. So, for this one, force and time is actually related when we talk about collisions. So, if the time of collision increases, the force decreases for the same change in momentum. So, they have indirectly or inversely proportional na direction. Now, this is why no crumpled zones in vehicle are designed to lengthen the collision time, and also the time for this, or the longer time reduces the impact force, making it the crash less damaging. Now again, diba, for example, I have an egg. If I throw an egg sa wall, of course, what will happen to the egg? Of course, mabuak siya. But if I throw an egg sa cloth, what will happen to the egg? So ang egg dili siya mabuak because of the increase of the collision time. So it actually affects the damage that will cause to the object. So the answer for this is not A, not B, not of course not B, but the answer is C. It spreads the change in momentum over time. Next, two carts collide on a frictionless track in the laboratory. When we talk about frictionless, so sinaw ang sawg or sinaw ang giagian aning ang carts. How can a total momentum before and after the collision be compared? Okay, so what will be your answer for this? Is it A, it increases after collision? B, it reduced due to impact? C, it becomes zero after collision? Or D, total momentum remains the same? So the answer is letter D. Okay, so the answer is letter D. Total momentum remains the same. Why? Because in a system where no external forces are acting, we talk about, let's say, the system is closed. So the total momentum before the collision and equal to the total momentum after the collision is just the same rin na. Just remember, when we talk about closed system, so the total momentum before and after the collision is always equal. Again, it is always equal. Now, this is known as the law of conservation of momentum. When we talk about conservation, walay nasayang nga energy, walay nakagawas ng energy. That's why same ang ilahang. The total momentum remains the same. Now, even if the objects bounce or change direction, the total momentum stays constant. Stay constant, dili siya ma-change or dili siya ma-usab. Okay, next number. During a class activity, students observe carts sticking together after collision. This is This is why, or the question for this is, why is momentum still conserve, no, even when objects stick together? Is it A, the cards have the same mass? B, no energy is lost during collision? C, no external force acts on the system? D, their speeds are equal after the collision. The answer is letter C. No external forces acts on the system. Because the question, ang gipangutanan diri is, why is momentum no still conserved even when objects stick together? Diba mention sa last item, even ma-change pa ng direction, unsa pa nilang itsura dira sa usa car, if we talk about closed system, there will be no external forces acts on the system. That's why conserve ang iyahang energy or conserve ang iyahang momentum. Next, a pendulum, no, is released from a certain height and swings back and forth. How does this activity demonstrate conservation of mechanical energy? Is it A, energy stays in one form? B, energy slowly increases with motion? B, energy disappears at the lowest point? D, a potential energy changes into kinetic energy and back. So the answer for this is letter D. Potential energy changes into kinetic energy and back because at the highest point of the pendulum, it has a maximum potential energy and little kinetic energy. So as it swings downward, potential energy is converted into kinetic energy. So at the lowest point, kinetic energy is maximum. So as it rises again, kinetic energy converts back into potential energy. So this continuous conservation or conversions shows conservation of mechanical energy. Okay, number 14. Students compare a rolling ball at the top and the bottom of a ramp. The ramp mura na siya og diagonal nga object ni may butang ramp. So why is the total mechanical energy the same at different points, no, ignoring friction? Again, what is friction? Kanang friction garang or forces nga mo-oppose sa usa ka direction sa usa ka object. So is it A, the height never changes? B, energy only changes a form? C, the ball moves at constant speed? D, the motion patterns stays the same. So the answer is letter B, of course. So at the top of the ramp, the ball has more potential energy because of its height. The more the height, the higher the height, the more its potential energy. So at the bottom, it has more kinetic energy because it is moving faster. However, the total mechanical energy will remain. So di siya mausab. Remains the same because ang energy is not only changing its form, not being lost, or gained, assuming no fraction. So that's why the answer for this is energy only changes form. And let's proceed to number 15. In a simple experiment, heated air inside a balloon causes it to expand and move. How does this show that heat can do work? Is it A, heat raises temperature only? B, heat disappears during expansion? C, heat spreads evenly inside the balloon? D, heat causes motion by transferring energy. So the answer for this is letter D. So heat causes motion by transferring energy because when the air inside the balloon is heated, if imong initon ang air inside the balloon, the particles move faster. No? So the particles inside that balloon, or the gas particles, move faster and spread apart. This causes the balloon to expand. So the expansion pushes against the surrounding air, creating motion. So this shows that heat energy can be converted into mechanical work. So again, that's why ang answer any is heat causes motion by transferring energy. So if you're wondering anong naay mga particles inside the balloon, so actually class, through the Brownian motions ng theory, it is believed that all the objects you've seen kanang dito sa atong makita ng air, na siya mga particles ari and even water na siya particle. That's why, nga if imo initon ang water, ang yang kinetic energy ato is mo increase or mo pass siya. That's why malanay ang kape ug imo siyang itimpla sa tubig nga init compared sa tubig nga bugnaw. Kay if bugnaw ang tubig, ang kinetic energy sa mga particles adto na magbangga-bangga is muhinay. That's why hinay sad malanay ang kape. But if init ang tubig, no, of course, the kinetic energy will increase. So, meaning to say, pas mabangga-bangga ang mga particles. So, that's why, hinapas pa siya malanay ang kape nga imo iputaw sa init nga kape. Okay. Number 16. Let's proceed. A steam engine demonstration shows steam pushing a piston. So, why is heat considered a form energy that can do work? Is it A, heat spreads quickly, B, heat always flows upward, C, heat changes color and shape, D, it can increase pressure and cause motions. So the answer for this is letter D. It can increase pressure and cause motion. Now in a steam engine, heat is used to boil water and produce steam. Diba we already discussed about this one, no? Katong yung geothermal energy, no? Nagamit nga to siya steam engine or na siya steam, no? Through the steam, no, the heat, no, is used to boil water and produce steam. So again, unsa may gamit nga no ni boil ang water because of the heat and it produces steam. So the steam now increases pressure inside the engine. So this pressure pushes the piston, causing it to move. So the motion of the piston is an example of work done by heat energy. That's why it can increase pressure and cause motion. Number 17. Students observe a model heat engine in a class. How do heat transfer and energy transformation allow heat engines to work? Is it A, heat reduces temperature, B, heat stays inside the engine, C, heat flows naturally between objects, D, heat energy is transformed into mechanical work? The answer is letter D. So heat energy is transformed into mechanical work because heat engines operate by transferring heat from a high temperature source to a lower temperature area. So during the process, no part of the heat energy no is converted into mechanical energy, now which can be used to move machines and vehicles. Next. A teacher explains that not all heat becomes useful work in an engine. So why are heat engines not 100% efficient? Again, why are heat engines not 100% efficient? Is it A, fuel supply is limited, B, engines stop working over time, C, energy is completely destroyed, D, some energy is always transferred as a waste heat? So the answer for this is letter D. So some energy is always transferred as waste heat. Why? Because according to the laws of thermodynamics, of course, if na laws of motion, na po laws of thermodynamics, excuse me. So it is impossible for a heat engine to convert all the heat into useful work. No, some of the energy is always lost as waste heat to the surroundings. So this is why heat engines are never 100% efficient. Again, the answer is some energy is always transferred as waste heat. Next one. During a field trip, students learn how electricity from power plants reaches homes. So how is electrical energy transmitted over long distances efficiently? Is it B, by using high voltage, B, by increasing power output, C, by lowering resistance in wires, and D, by shortening transmission distance? What's the answer for this? Is it A, B, or C? A, ba, ka, or da? So the answer is A, apple, by using high voltage. Why? Because electrical energy is transmitted over a long distance at a high voltage because it reduces energy loss. It reduces energy loss in the wires. So high voltage means lower current, and lower current produces less heat due to resistance. And we have the last number, which is 20. In a discussion about power distribution, transformers are mentioned. So why are transformer important in generating and distributing electrical energy? I don't know if you heard transformers no kanang sa mga poste. So why are they important no, in the distribution of electrical energy? Is it A, they change voltage, B, they produce electricity, C, they regulate the power usage, or D, they store electrical energy? So the answer is they change voltage. Why? Because transformers are devices that increase or decrease voltage. And power plants now use transformers to increase voltage for long distance transmission. So ang ilang gigamit is nag-use sila transformers to increase the voltage no sa mga long distance mga transmission sa electricity. So near homes, transformers decreases the voltage no, to safe levels for household use. No, if ang mga household lang if special ka na doon sila sa mga poste. So ilang kuno na ang transformers kay i-decrease ang voltage no for the safe levels no or using the electricity. Kay if high na nila no na possibility nga mabuto no mga kurente sa mga balay-balay. So that's why ilang gamiton is less lang. So again, the answer for this is they change voltage. And we are done. So again, this diagnostic test shows what you already know and what we still need to learn. So the topics we discussed today, or the topic that we will discuss next for our lesson will be covered in more detail no, in the coming lessons. So do not worry if you made mistakes. Now what matter is that you understand the concept now and improve as we continue our lessons this quarter. So expect that for the next lessons no kay and detailed na siya so mas masabtan na nato siya. So I will explain it much more deeper and we will have more examples, diagrams and illustrations. So thank you for listening. No, dili na siya metals and non-metals no. Nalimot kong edit. So this is the physics. Okay. Thank you everyone for listening and see you for our next discussion or next lesson na to for the fourth grading period.